Hello, beautiful souls. I have such a wonderful cosmic update for you. I just want to prepare you in advance. I filmed it holding my phone while sitting in the car, so it's pretty up close, but I think you're going to dig it. And so I'm so excited to vibe with you. Let's do it. I wanted to talk to you about raising your minimum standard. And that one of the main things that's happening for so many of us right now between this time and the end of this year is we're getting a full review of our standards in every single department of our lives. What our minimum standard is in intimacy, what our minimum standard is in friendship, what our minimum standard is in terms of the level of spiritual knowledge and wisdom that we would like to have. Our minimum standard in terms of our embodiment. How embodied are we? How in touch, how present are we with not just our body, but allowing our soul to fill out the space in our body? And sorry, I just saw trees on the car. I thought it was someone by the car. Anyways, our minimum standard of how much of our higher selves we are embodying. So we're getting a full review. We're getting to look at all of this. And I think for most people right now, that's going to feel like a pretty big jump up from where you are currently to the vision that is being planted in you right now. Because one of the other things that's happening right now is that the vision that is being planted into most people and solidified is actually a pretty big vision. It's actually pretty wild and it's pretty out there. And especially if you are on your ascension path, your new vision is going to fit in perfectly with where the new earth needs to be birthed and where we're going in the future in terms of what the new earth is going to look like. So it's going to feel pretty wild. It's going to feel pretty out there, maybe even a little bit intimidating. Where you are currently is going to start to feel like a hell no. It's going to start to feel like a hard no. And even if it's something that you're pretty okay with, you're going to be looking at a lot of your life at the moment and going, this is great, but I can do so much better. And this isn't a performance thing or a pressure thing. It's actually the rate and evolution, the rate and speed of our evolution right now. Consciousness is evolving so quickly that what our minimum standard was for humanity just 2 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago has now been raised. So there's certain things that as a collective we're no longer going to be tolerating. One of those things that I've noticed, and it's going to take a little while for this one to manifest. We don't know exact timelines, but this is the end of toxic relationships, like the full-on end of toxic relationships. And this is such a beautiful thing, because a lot of us are just no longer going to tolerate having any form of toxicity in our relationships. And we're going to look at the places in relationships that have been governed by trauma bonds and governed by toxicity, and we're just going to go, you know what, that's not for me anymore. Like, I'm good. Thank you. And so there's quite a lot of movement that is taking place. And even things like our minimum standard is we're just not going to tolerate food that is not good for the body. You know, we're just, people across the board are going to start saying no to unhealthy food and to food that doesn't make them feel good afterwards. Why? Because the minimum standard for the collective has been raised. Before, we tolerated feeling shitty in our bodies. We tolerated feeling tired and fatigued and over it because of the meal that we ate 2 hours before. We were comfortable with having our emotions governed by the food that we ate, and our reality altered and shifted by the food that we ate. And now we're waking up and we have so much light being blasted into our bodies right now. We're waking up, and so we're going, it's no longer okay for me to
be so influenced by something that's so not good for me, like a really dipped in oil, whatever type of food. It's not okay that this thing came in and externally governed my reality. Like it almost took away my ability to govern how I feel. So we're going to see less of a need for fast food places. We're going to see less of a need for restaurants that use a lot of oil and don't cook with love. You know, restaurants who are just about the consumerism. People are just going to go, I don't want to go there. I'd rather go somewhere else. Profits decline, out. And then what we're going to see a rise of is more people opening health food shops and little juice cafes, and those types of things are going to start popping up everywhere because people are going to go, you know what, I would love to walk down the street and get myself like an aloe vera shot, or you know, a beautiful wheatgrass, barley, blue spirulina, sprinkle some flower essence on top cocktail. I don't know. But you know, these things are going to start to become normal as opposed to the alternative, because not because some of them are the new trends, but because some of them are what we want and what is actually really, really good for us. So using that moment as a break so I can return to part of the point that I was saying, which is, as we are raising our minimum standards, let's return back to the personal on this now. As we are raising our minimum standards, when you look at the gap between where you are and where you're going, a very normal emotion to feel is disgust. When you take account of your actual reality and when you're about to take quite a big leap up in terms of reality, it is very normal to feel the emotion of disgust. It is very normal to want to when you think about your life. When you think about the things that you've tolerated until now, when you think about the way in which you allowed yourself to people please and the way that felt in your body. And so you're going to have flashbacks as well of some of the more profound times that felt super traumatic, because your system can handle it right now. Your system has the capacity to be able to process that because you've been getting so strong. And so what's coming up to clear right now in this moment is a huge bank up from childhood of the times that you self-abandoned. A huge bank up of the emotions that were stored in your body of the times when you didn't listen to yourself and no one else listened to you either. The times when you went unheard, your needs went unheard. There's so many parts of ourselves right now that are rectifying and coming into alignment, and all you have to do is just be open to the process. There's no commitment from your side. You don't need to go like, you know, shamanically dance on a mountain, but if that's what you feel called to do, beautiful, then do it. But this process is like a self-cleaning process. Have you ever come across those self-cleaning ovens? It's a self-cleaning process that is coming in to just begin to purify down your spine, the energetics in your spine, purifying your gut, where so many emotions have been stored. It's coming in to literally dislodge some of those intense knots that have been in there and in the psoas muscle. It's coming in to show you where you're holding stress in your body that cannot come with you for the next season, because that stress is shaping you a certain way. It's making your fascia move in a certain way. And actually your next season is you like standing straight, enjoying that beautifully arched back and just feeling free and open and presenting yourself to the world. So right now, whatever it takes for you to begin to own it and embody your new minimum standard, the one that you're going up to next. That is for you to just focus on that. Just focus on that embodiment. Focus on owning it. That's your job. So that's all you've got to do. And let the stuff clear out. Let the disgust do its job of going, I will never tolerate that again, ever. Before it was palatable, now it is disgusting. It disgusts me. It turns me off. And things that turn us off and things that make us feel disgusting, we're not available for. We're not. The only time we're available for the emotion of disgust is to say that's what I'm walking away from, not to live in feeling disgusted in your life. I really hope that this has been helpful as an ascension update, an energy update, and a little bit of guidance from an energy alchemist. And so I'm sending you just the full yes for where it is that you're going, the full yes, and the courage to move with it. I love you. Thank you. This has been so fun. Please like, share, subscribe as I build and shift this channel into becoming the channel that I was designed to be. Much love.